Maya was a quiet girl. She didn't speak much in school, and she never shouted or made a scene. Her dark eyes often looked down at her books or the floor when she walked in the hallways. Most days she felt like she was invisible, not because she wanted to be, but because the other students didn't notice her, or maybe they chose not to. Maya had always been different from many of the other kids at her school. The school was mostly filled with students who looked very different from her. They talked loudly in groups, shared jokes she did not understand, and played games she had never joined. Maya was one of the few black students in her school, and sometimes that made her feel alone. Not many people reached out to her or tried to know her. Sometimes she saw whispers and glances that made her stomach twist with worry. Even though Maya felt lonely, she did not complain. She was used to being on her own. She found comfort in small things that made her happy. She loved 2 red books that took her to faraway places, where she could imagine a world where she belonged. She drew pictures in her notebook, sketching the things she dreamed about, like colorful gardens, friendly animals, and smiling faces. Those were her safe places. At school, Maya was very good at listening. Her teachers liked that about her. Saw how hard she worked on her lessons and how she tried her best every day. Maya was not the best at making friends, but she had 1 or 2 classmates who smiled at her in the hall or said hello in passing. That was enough for her. She never asked for more. Still, some days were harder than others. There were students who teased her quietly or made jokes when they thought no one was watching. They whispered words that hurt, even if they did not say them loud enough for the teachers to hear. Maya felt those words like small, sharp stones inside her heart. She did not know how to stop them. She wished she could disappear or be stronger, so they would not bother her. One day, Maya sat alone during lunch in the school courtyard. She watched the other kids laugh and talk in groups. Some were playing games, some were sharing snacks, and some were telling stories. Maya felt far away from all of it, like she was behind a glass wall that kept her separate. She ate her sandwich slowly, trying not to look sad. Her friend Emily waved at her from across the yard. Emily was one of the few who made Maya smile. Maya waved back and felt a little better. Maya liked Emily because Emily did not treat her differently. She did not ask strange questions or laugh at her. Emily listened when Maya talked about her favorite books or her drawings. That made Maya feel seen, even if it was just a little. It mattered a lot. After lunch, Maya went to her next class, math. She liked numbers and puzzles. Math was like a game where everything made sense. The teacher, Mr. Collins, was kind and patient. He noticed when Maya struggled with a problem and helped her without making her feel bad. Sometimes after class, Maya stayed back to ask questions. Mr. Collins always answered with a smile. Those moments made Maya feel like she could do anything. If she tried hard enough, even with these small lights, school was still a place where Maya often felt afraid. Sometimes she would hear the loud voices of a group of older students. They were known to be troublemakers, and they did not like anyone who was different from them. Maya had seen them push other kids around and laugh at their fear. She hoped they would not notice her. One afternoon after school, Maya was walking to the bathroom. The halls were mostly empty then, and the noise of footsteps echoed softly. She wanted to be quick and not draw attention. As she passed the lockers, she heard some voices behind her. They sounded loud and mean. She felt her heart beat faster. She turned slightly and saw 3 boys she had seen before. They were tall and rough-looking. They smiled in a way that did not seem friendly. Maya's stomach tightened. She wanted to walk faster, but they started to follow her. Maya's mind raced. She thought about where to go, if she should run or hide. She wished someone was there to help her, but the hall was empty except for them. She took a deep breath and kept moving toward the bathroom. When she reached the door, she saw it was open, and a few students were inside. Maya hoped they would help if something happened. She stepped in quickly and tried to stay calm. Inside the bathroom, the air was cooler and quieter. Maya went to the sink and washed her hands slowly. She could hear the boys come closer. They pushed the door open and walked in, blocking the exit. Maya's heart pounded loudly. She did not want to be scared, but it was hard to stop. She looked at the boys. Their faces showed a mix of anger and boredom, like they were looking for trouble. Maya wanted to say something, but her voice felt stuck. She remembered her mother's words, "Be strong and calm, no matter what." So she took another deep breath and looked at them quietly. The boys started to speak, but Maya could see that their words were meant to scare her. They made fun of how she looked and where she came from. Their voices were loud and harsh, but Maya did not answer back. She stood tall, even if her hands shook a little. Even though she was alone, Maya did not feel weak. Inside her, she found a small flame of courage. It was the flame that kept her going every day when no one noticed her. It was the flame that told her she was worth more than their words. The boys looked surprised. They expected Maya to cry or run away, but she did not. That changed something in them, though they did not say it out loud. The bathroom, once a place of fear, became a place where Maya began to stand up for herself quietly, but strongly. The moment was short, but it stayed in Maya's mind forever. She learned that day that even when you feel small and alone, you can find strength inside you. And sometimes that strength shows in the way you face others, not with anger, but with calm and courage. After that day in the bathroom, Maya's life at school felt heavier. The boys who had followed her were not done yet. They talked quietly in the hallways, watching her from a distance. Maya could feel their eyes on her, even when she tried to ignore them. It was like a shadow she could not shake. One morning, the school buzzed with the usual noise of students rushing to class. Maya walked slowly through the crowded halls, her backpack heavy on her shoulders. She hoped this day would be normal and quiet. But as she turned the corner near the bathrooms, she saw the same group of boys waiting. Their faces were serious, and their eyes looked sharp. They were ready to cause trouble. Maya's heart started to beat faster, but she remembered the calm she had found before. She wanted to be brave, but fear tried to creep in. The boys blocked her path without saying a word. It was clear they wanted to stop her. Maya looked at the open bathroom door just behind them, then back at the boys. She knew this was a moment she could not avoid. Without waiting, the boys moved quickly to surround her. There was no one else around to help, and the hallway felt empty even though students were nearby. Maya found herself backed against the cold bathroom wall. She was alone in the middle of a small group that wanted to scare her. The boys began to speak, their voices low but full of anger. They made fun of her skin color and the way she dressed. Their words were sharp and hurtful. But Maya stayed quiet. She knew that arguing would only make things worse. Instead, she took a deep breath and looked straight at them. Her eyes were steady, and her hands did not shake as much as before. One of the boys stepped closer, his face full of challenge. He thought Maya would cry or yell, but she did not. Maya remembered what her grandmother had told her long ago. When people try to bring you down, hold your head high. Let your courage speak louder than their words. Maya stood still, calm but strong. She did not try to run or hide. The boys were surprised. They expected her to be afraid. Instead, they saw a quiet strength they had not expected. For a few seconds, no one said a word. The air felt thick with tension. Suddenly, one boy reached out and tried to grab Maya's backpack. Maya quickly pulled back, keeping her distance. She was ready to protect herself if needed, but she did not want to fight. She only wanted them to stop. The boys laughed, but their laughter was nervous now. They were not sure what to do next. Maya's calm made them uncomfortable. They were used to having control, but this time she was not scared. Maya decided to speak softly but clearly. "Please, leave me alone. I don't want any trouble." Her voice was steady. She did not shout or cry. She only asked to be left in peace. The boys looked at each other confused. No one expected her to speak like this. They wanted to see fear or anger, but they saw only quiet confidence. Maya's words made them stop for a moment, but instead of walking away, one boy pushed Maya lightly. It was not hard, but enough to make her step back. Maya's heart jumped. She thought maybe they would not stop. She felt alone and wished someone would come. Then, just as quickly as they came, the boys turned and left the bathroom. They did not say goodbye or laugh anymore. They walked away with their heads down, like they were not proud of what had just happened. Maya stayed there for a moment, her back against the wall. She felt her breath coming fast. Her hands shook a little, but she was not crying. She was surprised by how she had acted. She had been scared, but she did not run. She had stood her ground. Later, Maya told her best friend Emily what happened. Emily listened carefully and held Maya's hand. "You were so brave," Emily said softly. "I wish I could be like you." Maya smiled, but inside, she still felt worried. She knew the boys might come back. She did not want to be afraid every day, but she did not know how to stop it. She thought about talking to a teacher, but worried it might make things worse at home. She asked gently, "Is something bothering you, Maya?" Maya nodded and told her mother about the boys. Her mother hugged her tightly. "You are strong," she said. "We will figure this out together. You don't have to face this alone." That night, Maya thought about what had happened. She realized that standing up for herself was not easy, but it made her feel proud. She wanted to be strong every day, not just when she was scared. At school the next day, Maya walked with more confidence. She kept her head up and looked around. Carefully, boys were still there sometimes, but they did not try to stop her again. Maybe they had learned that Maya was not easy to scare. Maya also started to notice other students who looked lonely like her. She smiled at them and said hello. Sometimes they smiled back, made her feel less alone. The school was still a place with challenges, but Maya was ready to face them. She knew that courage was not about being the loudest or strongest, but about believing in herself. Even when others tried to make her feel small, Maya held on to her quiet power, and that quiet power grew stronger every day. Days passed, and Maya's quiet strength began to show in ways no one had expected. The boys who had tried to scare her before had started to look at her differently. They no longer saw a scared girl, but someone who could stand tall even when the world seemed against her. This change in how they saw Maya made the school feel a little less heavy for her. But it did not mean everything was easy. One afternoon, during a free period, Maya found herself walking alone down the hallway. The school was busy with students moving between classes. She kept her eyes forward, trying not to notice the groups whispering behind her back. She wished she could blend in like everyone else, but she knew she was different and proud of it. As she passed by the bathroom, she felt a familiar presence. The same group of boys from before was nearby, and this time they were talking quietly but looking directly at her. They were planning something. Maya could tell by the way they exchanged looks and smirked. She knew it might not be safe to ignore them. Maya's heart beat faster, but instead of turning away, she decided to face the moment. She walked slowly towards the bathroom entrance where the boys stood. She stopped just outside and looked at them calmly, without any warning. One of the boys stepped forward and blocked her way. The others surrounded her, closing in quickly. The space was tight, and Maya could feel the heat of the moment pressing down on her. The boys started to laugh and make fun of her again. This time, they were louder and more confident. They tried to push her, but Maya stood firm. She did not shout or scream. She only held her ground. Then, something surprising happened. Maya took a deep breath and, with quick but careful movements, she used what she had learned from years of dance and sports to move away from their grasp. She stepped to the side with balance and grace, avoiding their hands. The boys stumbled, not expecting her to react so fast. Her quick action surprised everyone, especially the boys. Maya's calm and steady eyes showed she was not afraid. In just a few seconds, the mood changed from one of bullying to one of respect mixed with shock. One boy, the tallest of the group, raised his hands in the air and said, Okay. We don't want any trouble." His voice was nervous now. The others looked around, unsure of what to do next. Maya did not say a word. She just stood tall, breathing slowly, her eyes still focused on them. The boys took a step back and then quickly left the bathroom area. They walked away without turning back. After they left, Maya stayed inside the bathroom for a moment. She leaned against the wall and let out a small sigh of relief. Her heart was still beating fast, but she felt proud of herself. She had stood up without yelling or fighting. She had used her mind and body together to protect herself. From that day on, the story of what happened in the bathroom spread quietly among the students. Many of them started to look at Maya with new eyes. Some who had never spoken to her before smiled in the hallways. Teachers noticed how she carried herself with more confidence. Even the bullies seemed to think twice before bothering her again. Maya's strength was not about being loud or angry. It was about being calm, brave, and ready to stand up when needed. She showed others that courage could be quiet but powerful. One afternoon, Emily found Maya sitting alone under a tree during recess. Emily came over with a big smile and sat beside her. "You were amazing today," she said. "I wish I could be as brave as you." Maya smiled back and said, "It's not about being brave all the time. Sometimes it's just about not giving up." Emily nodded and asked, "What made you so strong?" Maya thought for a moment. "I guess I just remembered what my grandmother said. She told me to hold my head high and believe in myself, even when it's hard." Emily looked thoughtful. "Maybe I should remember that too." Over the next few weeks, Maya's quiet bravery inspired others. Some students who had felt lonely started to join her during lunch or asked to work with her in class. Maya learned that courage could bring people together, even in a place that sometimes felt cold. One day, during art class, Maya shared some of her drawings with the teacher. The teacher was impressed and asked if Maya wanted to show her work at the school art fair. Maya felt nervous, but happy. She said yes. Preparing for the art fair gave Maya a new focus. She worked hard on her drawings, putting all her feelings and dreams into her art. When the day came, many students and teachers came to see her work. Some even complimented her, telling her how talented she was. Maya realized that standing up to the bullies was only one part of her story, showing her true self. Her creativity, her kindness, her dreams was just as important. She was more than the quiet girl in the hallway. She was an artist, a friend, and someone who could inspire others. Despite the challenges, Maya learned that strength comes in many forms. It is not only about fighting back, but also about believing in yourself and sharing your light with the world. And so Maya's story grew beyond the bathroom walls. She became a symbol of courage and hope for many students at her school, showing that even in difficult times, we can find power in kindness and quiet strength. After the incident in the bathroom, everything started to change at school, not just for Maya, but also for the boys who had tried to scare her. The moment when Maya stood her ground quietly but firmly left a mark on them. They'd expected to see fear, but instead, they saw calm courage. This was new for them. For the first time, they felt unsure of how to act around Maya. The days that followed were filled with awkward silence whenever the boys crossed paths with Maya. They looked at her differently, sometimes avoiding her gaze or walking on the other side of the hall. It was as if they were trying to figure out what to do next. They did not want to be seen as weak, but they also did not want to start another confrontation. Maya noticed this change too. She could feel a shift in the way the school atmosphere was moving. It was subtle, but important. The boys no longer laughed or whispered insults behind her back. Instead, some of them simply ignored her presence. That was better than before, but Maya knew it was not the end of the story. One afternoon, during lunch, Maya sat with Emily and a few other students she had recently started to talk to. The group was small, but it felt warm and friendly. Maya enjoyed the quiet conversations and the simple moments of laughter. She felt that she was no longer alone, and that gave her new strength. Suddenly, from across the cafeteria, Maya saw the tallest boy from the group of bullies. He was walking slowly, looking around as if searching for someone. Maya's heart skipped a beat. She felt a mix of nervousness and curiosity. Would he come to her? What would he say? To her surprise, the boy stopped in front of their table. Looked a little uncomfortable, but spoke clearly. "Hey, Maya," he said. His voice was quiet but steady. "I wanted to say, I'm sorry for how we treated you before." The group at the table went silent. Emily looked at Maya with wide eyes. Maya felt her cheeks flush, but also felt something warm inside. She never expected to hear these words from him. Maya took a deep breath and nodded. "Thank you," she replied softly. "That means a lot." The boy smiled a little and said, "We didn't really know you. I guess we were wrong." Maya smiled back. "It's okay. I hope we can start over." From that day on, things slowly began to improve. The boy and some of his friends made an effort to change. They stopped the teasing and even said hello to Maya in the halls. It was not perfect, and sometimes old habits returned, but the change was real. Maya learned that forgiveness and kindness could be powerful tools. She did not hold anger in her heart. Instead, she chose to believe that people could grow and learn. Her courage had opened a door not only for herself, but also for others. At school, teachers noticed the change as well. They spoke more about kindness, respect, and understanding in their classes. The principal organized activities that encouraged students to learn about each other's backgrounds and stories. Maya took part in these events, sharing her experiences in a way that helped others see the person behind the quiet girl. One day, during a school assembly, Maya was invited to speak about her journey. She felt nervous but ready. When she stood in front of the crowd, she looked out at the faces and remembered all the moments she had faced fear and doubt. Then she spoke clearly and from her heart. "I want to tell you that everyone deserves respect and kindness," she said. "It doesn't matter where we come from or what we look like. We all have feelings, hopes, and dreams. Standing up for yourself is important, but also standing up for others can change the world." The audience listened quietly. Some students, who had once been distant, looked thoughtful. Teachers smiled proudly. Maya's words reached many hearts. After the assembly, several students came up to Maya to thank her or share their own stories. She realized that by speaking up, she was helping create a place where everyone could feel safe and accepted. Outside school, Maya's family was proud of her. Her mother told her, "You are growing into a wonderful young woman. You have shown more courage than most people ever will." Maya felt grateful for the support from her family and friends. She knew the journey was not over, but she was ready for whatever came next. With each passing day, Maya's quiet strength became a light for others. She inspired kindness, understanding, and hope. Her story was a reminder that even the smallest actions of courage and forgiveness could create big changes in the world around us. After the school assembly, where Maya spoke about courage and kindness, the atmosphere in the school slowly began to change for the better. More students started to notice her not just as the quiet girl in the hallways, but as someone strong and kind. Some students even approached her, asking questions about her art, her favorite books, or just wanting to say hello. Maya was surprised but happy. She felt like she was becoming a part of the school in a way she had never been before. The boys, who had once been her bullies, also changed. They did not become her friends overnight, but they stopped treating her with cruelty. Sometimes they even smiled when they saw her in the halls. Maya noticed these small changes and felt hopeful. She knew it would take time for trust to grow, but she believed it could happen. Teachers and staff at the school started to pay more attention to the way students treated each other. They organized workshops about respect, kindness, and the importance of standing together. These activities help students understand that everyone has feelings and deserves to be treated well. Maya took part in these events, sharing her story to help others see the importance of kindness and courage. Maya also began to think more about her future. The experience she had gone through taught her that challenges could be faced with strength and calmness. She started dreaming about ways she could help others who felt alone or afraid. Maybe one day, she thought, she could be a counselor or a teacher, someone who listens and supports students like she once needed at home. Maya's family was proud of her growth. Her parents encouraged her to follow her dreams and to always stand up for what is right. Her grandmother, whose words had helped Maya find courage in the first place, smiled warmly when she heard about the school changes. "You have done well, Maya," she said. "Remember, your light can guide others, even in the darkest times." Maya continued to work hard in school. Her grades improved, and her art became more beautiful and full of meaning. She won a prize at the school art fair where many people admired her work. Her drawings showed not only her talent but also her journey, the moments of fear, courage, and hope she experienced. The school community started to come together more. Students who had once kept to themselves began to speak and share stories. The school felt warmer, friendlier, and safer. Maya's courage helped make that happen. One day, as Maya was walking to class, a younger student approached her. The student looked nervous, but smiled shyly. "Hi, Maya," she said.
"Hi."
"Wanted to say thank you. You helped me feel brave when I was scared." Maya smiled back. "You're welcome," she said gently. "Remember, you are never alone. We are all stronger together." Maya realized that even small acts of kindness and courage could create a ripple that touched many lives. She felt proud of how far she had come. She knew there would still be hard days, but she was ready to face them with calm and strength. Her story became one of hope for many, proof that even when faced with fear and difficulty, a person could find the power inside to change their world. Maya's journey showed that courage is not just about fighting loudly, but about standing firm, speaking kindly, and forgiving when others make mistakes. In the end, Maya understood that her greatest strength was her heart, her ability to believe in herself and others, no matter what challenges came her way. And with that heart, she was ready to help build a better future, one where everyone could feel safe, respected, and loved.